And we are live. Welcome to Redbird Redzone podcast. My name is Will. You can find me on Twitter at LiveOnThatSwing. Joining me today, I've got my two spectacular co-hosts. Why don't you two introduce yourselves?
Good morning, bitches. It's me. It's Jackie. You can find me on Twitter at JSanDiego. That is with 2 O's.
Yo, and I'm Matt. Thank you guys for joining us. You can find me on Twitter at AZSportsFien. That's FIEN. And here we are on Sunday, the divisional series round, and we're going to be wrapping up our Arizona Cardinals season podcast show tonight. So thank you guys for joining us, or I guess this morning or afternoon, whatever. Thank you for joining us about 2 weeks after the Cardinals' last game, but they're still always in our very close in our rear view mirror. And just a big shout out to Matt Prater for shanking that kick and giving us the number 4 pick in the upcoming NFL draft and keeping our Marvin Harrison Jr. dreams alive. So shout out to you guys. And Jackie, Will, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I did not get to watch that game. I was on a plane. But you talked about Matt Prater, so I guess we'll just get it out of the way for your season finale. Your big dick player of the game. And probably I would actually say big dick player of the year is going to be Matt Prater for missing those kicks and just being a consistent kicker all around. And especially if you watch that Green Bay game last night, you're very appreciative of a fucking clutch kicker.
Yeah, I was looking at that Carlson kid. Jesus Christ. Talk about he's like the Thanasis Antetokounmpo of the NFL. Christ. I didn't even know you could do that as a kicker. I am dying. I have COVID right now, which is a bitch. I have COVID. I've been having the chills too, so like showering, I can't do that right now. So I smell like a fucking ball sack right now.
Yum. And if you like and subscribe, you will be entered for a chance to win some of Will's ball cheese.
Woo!
On his OnlyFans, toes and hoes and goats.
Yep.
But I'm doing well. I was at work during this game, so the final few seconds I see, oh God, we're lining up for a kick, and it's taking a while for the thing to update, so I don't know if he missed it or I don't know if he made it. And literally, I was standing like away from my cash register, like looking at my phone, and I'm next to 2 managers, and I fucking audibly like yell the second I realized he missed it, and I had to apologize to my fucking managers.
What did you tell them, that you were watching the game?
I told them, sports. I wasn't watching the game. I was watching.
They asked you what happened in the Panthers game. They're like, "Oh, did something happen in the Panthers game?" Well,
that was the most depressing $45 I've ever spent.
45.
The game.
What was that score? Was it like
9-0? It's like it was like getting like a weak hand job from a from an ex.
Who they play? Was that the Buccaneers?
Yeah, that was the Buccaneers.
Was that your first Panther game of the year?
Yeah. I'm hoping that the Cardinals play in Carolina next year. They're on the schedule, but there is a chance that we play them in Munich. Of course, I say that, and they probably want a rivalry game there or something.
You would think. I feel like that's what the German fans would want, would be like a rivalry division game or something, not to see the Cardinals. But that's just my selfish way of thinking.
I think it's going to be like Buccaneers, Panthers or something.
Another 9-0 game.
Yeah, something.
Yeah. Before we go too further, I want to give a shout out to James Conner's first 1,000-yard season of his career. Busted it loose for 150 yards, season high against Seattle in Week 18. So that was good to see. Glad he's gonna be back next year. I think he's pretty much the heart and soul of this team or the offense. He's like the Buda Baker on the offensive side of the ball for me, for the Cardinals.
James Conner is a unique specimen because his style of play can be maintained over a long career. He's not a
speed guy.
He's not a speed guy. He's not a 5 yards and a dash of smoke or whatever it's called. He is a power back. He's the guy who gets you those tough yards, and the players like that can have a long ass career. So I think if we keep him for the next few years, I think we're solid. But I still think come draft time we should see him running back.
someone. Got to get that like thunder and lightning duo. Get another guy. I feel like Michael Carter has done fairly well since coming over here, since being released by the Jets. But I don't know if you want him basically to be your number 2 entering next year. I mean, DeMarcado showed a lot, as a rookie. So that's someone to definitely keep an eye on. But more competition, the merrier, for sure.
Is there anybody you guys want to look at in the draft, running back wise?
Not in the draft. I'm kind of satisfied with what we've got, and there's some interesting names throwing around for free agency or potential trade situations. So that's something I would be more interested rather than drafting a running back.
See, there's one running back in the draft I've had my eyes on since high school that I really want to see in red. His name is Will Shipley. He played at Clemson. He was a Charlotte high school kid. And I saw him play in high school, and that kid was fucking phenomenal. He's more of a pass catching back these days, but I think if we utilize him in our offense, we could be a real threat.
Where's he projected to go?
He's like a late day 2, day 3 pick.
Okay, I feel like that's probably the area too that we would be picking. Wouldn't envision us going running back really with any of our top 3 or top picks within the first 3 rounds. So that could be definitely someone or at least in that range area if we were to target somebody in the draft.
Yeah, he was a fucking machine in high school. He's been saddled with injuries some in college, so his stock is taking a nosedive a little bit.
Okay.
But I mean,
low risk, kind of high up.
But I mean, this season, 167 carries, 827 yards. So that's an average of 5 yards a carry. He's averaged 5 yards a carry every year he's been in college. He's totaled 31 touchdowns in college, despite the fact that he's been injured for a decent chunk of it. I mean, I'd take a flyer on him, no doubt.
I had read something interesting earlier, and I don't think I saved it, but I was talking about something with like the NIL deals and COVID. Kind of did something to this year's draft where there's not going to be a whole lot of depth.
I can see that. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely getting a lot more competitive for those guys. If you're not being a top pick, and you can get paid by your college to go back for, a few $100,000 or something like that, or whatever they're getting paid, even if it's not that much. I mean, if you're a mid-round pick, really nothing's guaranteed in the draft, and your career can kind of go. You see so many guys mid to late rounds who are in and out of, of the NFL within a year or two. There's so many guys and not everyone's going to stick. So, I mean, if you could live your life in college, and you're doing college things while getting playing football. Yeah. I mean, I could totally see where that's coming from for sure.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting given the fact that this is the draft that we have a lot of stock.
So I wonder how much that is going to affect like the top of the draft more or less than, let's say, like the middle rounds, those type of guys, kind of like the fringe type of draft. But yeah, that it is interesting to see. I know people are talking about Marvin Harrison possibly staying back, but that was kind of a joke all along, and he's officially declared to go to the draft. So that's good to see, where the Cardinals are picking. I think we all have our eyes right there. And at the end of the day, I trust Monty Ossenfort to do what's best for the Cardinals. For my money, he came in and he blew me away with expectations for a team that ended up winning only 4 games. Just the group of guys that he brought in on the cheap, and the ones that he did give, a couple year deal to, like Kaiser White. I feel like those guys really stepped up and kind of helped set the foundation moving forward. So, I got full belief in this coaching staff and Jonathan Gannon and Monty Ossenfort to bring in the right guys for Gannon and his staff to mold.
This draft picture looks a lot more complete now than it did a few weeks ago. I will say, listening to what Gerard Mayo had to say at his introductory presser for the Pats, I think it's increasingly clear they're going for a quarterback.
Yeah.
They were like, you guys know. He basically said, you guys know what we need. Take from that what you will. Which to me means one of two things.
Quarterback.
Quarterback, obviously, or Tell me Joe Alt doesn't feel like a like a fucking Patriot. A fucking white guy tackle from Notre Dame. That's such a fucking Patriot player. So I think it's one of those two options. It's going to be either quarterback or Joe Alt for them.
Yeah, they're in desperate need of a rebuild. So I think if you're in a rebuild, the first thing, a rebuild with a new head coach, they're going to want a quarterback. You're going to want to start there, and you're in a prime position to get a quarterback. Because I feel like if they try to go after like a Ryan Tannehill or something, it's just going to be like you're going to have a mid-season and get mid-draft picks.
I mean, the only way I'd if I was a fan of that team, the only way I'd be fine with Tannehill is if he was like a bridge quarterback. Like you bring in Tannehill,
but yeah, they sit behind Tannehill.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, too, I do want to also give a shout out to Michael Wilson for that last game. He set his season high in receiving yards with 95. So that was really good to see him and Kyler kind of getting that bonding together, because it was a little rough stretch when Kyler got back. And then Michael missed a couple games, win a couple games without getting a catch. And then his last two games finished with, 10 catches, over 130 yards, and a touchdown. He got that touchdown the week prior. So that was good to see. And, surprisingly enough, he ended up having the 11th most receiving yards in Cardinals franchise history as a rookie at 565, just below Christian Kirk's 590. And then you have to go all the way until John Brown at 2014 before you see a name that you really recognize. Then Larry Fitzgerald, Ricky Prohl, Frank Sanders, and of course Anquan Bolden with his amazing 1,300, nearly 1,400 yard rookie season. So, he didn't. I don't feel like he blew us away, but we saw. I thought fantastic stretches by Michael Wilson. That 49ers game comes to mind with those 2 touchdown receptions that he had. The one kind of by the pylon or on the boundary. That was a hell of a catch. Maybe one of the best catches of the year by any Cardinal. But to see him finish 11th and on the all-time rookie list for Cardinals reception yards, I think that's promising moving forward. And it was great to see him and Kyler kind of find that connection the last 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, you're coming in with your quarterback has been rehabbing an ACL. You're battling your own injuries, so it's not going to be an instantaneous.
Timing-wise, he didn't get that timing in preseason either, or training camp with them. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they're literally learning this in front of our eyes on the fly. So it's going to get there, and it's starting to get there. And just from the eye test, you didn't see that much productivity, or you don't feel like it was that much productivity until you start looking at the stats. And a solid number 2, it's very underrated, because you play a team with a good lockdown corner. Your number 1's getting shut down. Your number 2 is going to have to step up big.
Yeah. And he's got the speed, he's got the route running, and he's got the size as well. So the hands, the only real knock on him is that injury history. So, I do feel like we're going to bring in another guy, probably at least 2 more guys. Figure we're going to use probably a top. I mean, we have the Texans pick, so that's at 27 now. So if we end up not getting a wide receiver at 4, Marvin Harrison at 4, you figure we'll probably get that back end of the first or in the early second round. That's got to be coming. And then you'll probably try to bring in a free agent, a veteran who can come in, learn the offense pretty smoothly, hopefully, and get this offense rolling, because by the end of the year, this looked like a pretty dangerous offense.
Especially when you see like who all made the playoffs, and I saw like
Bucks. Yeah, come on, man. Like,
I'm saying, like, it almost makes you really wonder. And I'm sure we would have probably lost at least one of the games at the beginning of the season. And it kind of makes you wonder, like, what if we would have been a playoff team, like a snuck in their wild card team, had Kyler started the season.
Yeah.
Because, those games were close with Dobbs, Commanders, Giants, all of those games.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but here's the question: do you feel better about our team if we're a one and done 9-8 team, or do you feel better about our team with all this draft capital and?
Where we are now? Hindsight 2020. I like where we're at now versus if we would have been a sneaky wild card team, because we've got so much ammunition for this off season. It's going to be I'm so looking forward to this.
Hell yeah.
Sports are back, baby. The Suns have won like 3 games in a row. The Cardinals are going to draft Marvin Harrison. Sports are back, folks.
And, don't be surprised if we sneak in the playoffs next year. Because, the timeline for us that the experts are saying it's going to be a couple of years. I feel like it's going to be a quick turnaround.
NFL, anything.
The experts also say that Brock Purdy is a good quarterback.
Hey, I was being a super hater saying, you know what, he's not going to come back and win. Of course, the defense helped.
I didn't think that he was going to do that last drive either.
Yeah, I didn't think they put together that last drive.
Yeah. And then on top of the draft picks, Cardinals have $45 million in cap space. That's not to mention, what cuts are could be happening, leading up to that.
I'd say Hump is probably a good cut candidate given both his age and the injury.
Yeah, and that's 12th most in the NFL. So you add, our huge volume of draft capital that we have with the fact that we have the 12th most cap space, and we could still be a little more flexible with that if need be. I do think that this could be a quicker turnaround than probably what a lot of people think. But because at the end of the day, Kyler Murray gives you a chance to win nearly every fucking game.
Yes, no matter how understaffed we are.
Yeah, even if you're down, there's really no, oh shit, we're down 2 TDs, we can't come back because Josh Dobbs is our quarterback. No, you got Kyler, and I feel like he showed that. He's a missed field goal away from finishing 4-4 after coming back directly off an ACL injury. So you give him a full offseason in this system with these wide receivers. And I do think that, I agree with your point, Jackie, that, this team could be ready to take off. That foundation was set. There's going to be a lot of influx of talent coming in, but that's just the NFL, and the fact that we have so many draft picks and draft cap and free agent money available. And so many guys are on 1-year deals. How many guys were signed this year that were 1-year deals? A ton. Because you want to lay down that foundation, find out who's going to stick here instead of overpaying guys or overpaying their years to bring guys in here that first year. I was super impressed the way Austin Fort went about that and how Gannon, never lost this team once, even though it looked rough for a while. And the players kept fighting hard and, damn near in almost every game.
Exactly. I felt in it every game except the Cleveland game.
Yeah, there's only a couple.
And maybe the Rams pushed our shit in, huh?
Oh yeah, no, they fucking slaughtered us.
Yeah. So besides those 2 games, I felt like we looked good, we looked competitive given with what we got. And if you can get that kind of level of play out of guys that aren't the big names, that's huge.
Yeah,
that attests for you as a coach.
I mean, we got this level of production out of guys who would be practice squad guys on any other roster. I mean, these are let me be completely fair here. These are below replacement players that we got this much production out of. I am very excited to see what Monty Osfort can cook up this offseason. I'm very excited to see what Gannon can cook up next season. Sorry, I'm having a fucking stroke.
That penthouse fast.
Oh, speaking of Gannon, can I tell a funny story?
Go for it.
Because I'm a fucking idiot. So I from time to time at work, I have to call patients. The person's first name was Gannon, spelt not the same, but it was Gannon, pronounced Gannon. Yeah. And so they don't answer. I have to leave a voicemail, and I'm like, "Hi, this message is for Gannon. My name is Jonathan." And I'm like, "Do I stop?" So I rolled with it. So somewhere out there is a voicemail for me saying my name is Jonathan.
2024.
Yeah, no, anything's possible.
We're all unisex.
Yeah, no, I'm a fucking idiot.
That's like
I need to pay attention when I'm talking and not look.
What? No, you? What do you mean? That's like when Will's not here when you're like, "Hi, I'm Jackie. You can find me at Live on That Swing." Fuck. Gosh, damn it. Poor shit. Sorry, my name's Jonathan Gate. Fucking bitch.
By the way, what are you drinking anything right now?
I am Coors Light.
They got me a Pacifico.
I'm White
Baja
Trash.
Blast, baby! It's back, folks.
Why don't you go Baja Blast your brains out, Will?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Next time the Suns lose, I'll consider it.
Right? Every time the Suns lose, I think like 90% of my Twitter feed considers it.
Oh, God.
I posted a tweet a few months ago. I said, my therapist got it all wrong. I'm not going to blow my brains out over a girl. I'm going to kill myself when the Suns lose a game by 2 in January.
Exactly. Oh, life of a fucking Arizona sports fan.
Highs and lows.
Yeah.
Stay even.
You're either an alcoholic or suicidal. There's no in between.
Exactly.
I got the alcoholism down patented, so we're good there. I just want to thank everyone who's ever tuned into our show this season. We really appreciate each and every one of you. I know we haven't been as consistent as we probably would like to be, but changing platforms, we had some other stuff going on. We all have individual stuff going on in our lives as well. Yeah,
mom tings,
college things, mom tings, drunk tings. So no, but we really appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you guys. We won't take up a lot of your time. We know the playoffs start here in about half an hour. So we just wanted to come in here and do one last episode before the playoffs wrap up, and we'll probably jump back on here leading up to the draft as well. So
Ravens Lions Super Bowl. Woo!
Yeah, so we can. If anyone has any questions, I'm not sure if anyone's in the chat right now or anything, or if anyone has any comments, feel free to say what you guys feel. It doesn't
have to be sports related. This is your time. Yeah. This is your time to shine. If you have any burning questions for Mac, Will, and I. But have you guys been watching any of the playoff games? I didn't get to watch the Texans game, but I guess they got their shit pushed in.
I haven't been able to over the last few days. I've got COVID, so I've been having to isolate.
Better than herpes, though.
Oh yeah.
You could have got the clap.
Jesus, yeah. Now your boy always has a. Not finishing that sentence. Anyway.
I was big disappointed that Green Bay didn't pull it off. Everybody's like, oh, Brock Purdy, he's a local kid. I don't give a fuck. I'm from the West Valley.
He's the devil.
Yeah.
Like, was it?
Play for the Niners. I can't fuck with you.
I mean, there was a cool story, but after a while, it's like, I want you to fucking lose because you're on the fucking 49ers. Like,
there was a tweet last year. I think it was Gamba who's like, can you at least still appreciate Brock Purdy's success since he's from the Valley? And it's like, no. He's the fucking devil.
That's like, if Satan himself was born here in Phoenix, Arizona, would you root for him?
If he was wearing a Cardinals jersey, sure.
Then yes. Devil's advocate.
The one stat that I feel like surprised me when I saw it is that James Conner, even though he went on fucking IR, finished
about 1,000 yards.
Well, finished with the sixth most rushing yards in the NFL this year, which that's pretty fucking wild. There are only, I guess there are only 4 running backs to rush over 1,100 yards, and he was at 1,040. So, going back just to circling around the James Conner duo with Kyler, and then you throw in Michael Wilson. Unfortunately, Rondell Moore was disappointing, finishing with his lowest receiving yards of his career at under 400. And now he's got 3 total receiving touchdowns in his career, 1 each season. So I think we're at the point where that experiment is probably expiring here soon.
I mean, I think you're forgetting the biggest piece of the new puzzle. I think McBride is due for an explosion next year. He, coming in as the starter week 7.
I don't know. I think he could wait another year for an extension, but yeah, he's due after next season, I'd say.
No one caught that.
No, I wasn't talking for. I was saying he's due for a big year. Like he's.
I think that extension.
Nah.
He said explosion, and I said I'll make him explode.
Oh.
Hey yo.
Ooh, hey, the Hoover. Here's the Hoover.
No, I mean, if he's doing that much with that little playing time, I mean, I think he's going to have a breakout year next year.
Yeah, between him, Kyler, and James Conner, those 3 right there. You add in a Marvin Harrison Please, baby Jesus. And then now we're fucking really, really talking. But yeah, Trey McBride is probably the best story of the season. I think hands down.
Yeah, you know what? I'm starting. The more we talk about our guys and how the season went on, it's like James Conner, big dick player of the year. Trey McBride, big dick player of the year. There's just for a 4 in whatever season,
a lot of positives.
There was some big dicks on this team.
A lot of positives, yeah.
It's almost impossible to feel overly bad about this year because I mean, it was infuriating to hear people go along.
Unless you're a Kyler hater, which there people still are,
and fuck those people. Yeah. Fuck those people. They can go to hell. Because as this year went along, I had to listen to people say, "Oh, it's so clear they don't have a plan. They're tanking," and it's like, how can you look at this situation and think they don't have a plan?
Yeah.
You want to know what they would have done if they didn't have a plan? They would have thrown Clayton Tune out there week 1, let his ass get beat, and they would have drafted Caleb Williams.
They would have overpaid fucking guys to come in here.
Exactly.
Like Steve Keim did, Jordan Phillips. I mean, go down the fucking list.
You don't take the brunt of Hopkins' contract this year if you don't have a plan. Yeah. You don't trade Zach Ertz if you don't have a plan. You don't do everything that we have done this year.
Let Zach Allen, Byron Murphy walk.
Exactly.
All the Keim mistakes are gone. You didn't have a plan and you're just fucking winging it as a new GM. You would just keep what you had and roll with and stick your thumb up your ass and roll with it.
I mean, I don't think there's ever been a season where a team finished with such a losing record where I've been so overly optimistic. Heading into
the scores.
For a 4-win season, this went as well and positive as it could have gone,
I have some breaking news. It's raining.
Oh.
It's snowing here.
What is rain?
Actually, wait, no, it's not snowing anymore. It snowed yesterday, though. I just looked out my window for the first time today.
So did I. That's why I'm like, it's raining.
Will.
This has been a local.
Took that COVID out of you.
I mean, I can't go outside, man. Not just because I have COVID, but it's fucking 18 degrees outside.
And you can't be having COVID in front of the hose.
That's probably where you got it from. Let's be real. All those Tinder dates.
All the threesomes, the Tinder dates.
Oh, Christ.
I can tell you, Will, the first time I met you, I thought in my head, this guy fucks.
There was a girl who matched with me yesterday.
Right there.
There was a girl who
masturbated.
There was a girl who matched with me yesterday on Hinge, and she had in her profile like, "Oh, hey, I find it really hot if you look like you eat cigarettes." And I saw she matched with me, and I was like, "I know this is a weird question, but do I fit that description?" And she fucking unmatched me.
Wow. She said it'd be hot if what?
She says I find guys who look like they eat cigarettes hot.
She unmatched you.
Is she goth? That sounds like a very goth girl thing to say.
I don't know. This is a hippy dippy fucking town, man.
Yeah, I see. Everybody come for this podcast. You come for the sports. Stay for Will's fucking college tings.
Threesomes with women named Jackie.
Yeah,
that was probably the funniest thing that happened on the podcast this year.
I was trying to think of a name, man.
You're like, Jackie and Mac. I'm like, what?
What?
I'm surprised that's what Will didn't say.
I got to give shout outs to the people in the chat. Thank you, John, Paul, Edward de Dios. Forgive us if we pronounce that wrong consistently. But you, Juan, Mendias? I'm an idiot. I can't read. Sure. But I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. Yes, the Marvin Harrison Jr. dream is still alive and well. Everybody that's in front of us in the draft, they need quarterbacks. And I don't know, like it's a lot of rebuild stuff too, so you can't rebuild around a wide receiver.
I really think that the Commanders are going to trade up to 1. It feels like such a new owner thing to do.
So the Bears trade back, and then do the Bears go after a quarterback in your theory?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I
think they let their quarterback of choice fucking fall to. You think they don't bring in Caleb Williams?
I don't know. I mean, if the
other options are Drake May and Jaden fucking Daniels. I mean, it's a bad quarterback draft in my opinion. Like, people hyped it heading in, And a lot of that was Caleb Williams. But I mean, when Drake May's your number 2, or fucking Jaden Daniels. I mean, Jaden Daniels had a hell of a year, but is he an NFL quarterback? I'm not too sure on that.
You think Antonio Pierce gets the Raiders to trade up so he can get Jaden's mom again?
Oh God. I'm sure he wants nothing to do with ASU. Fucking Antonio Pierce.
Christ.
I like how Max Crosby bullied the Raiders organization to hire him.
He's so real for that.
What did he do?
He said he was going to demand a trade if they didn't hire him.
Shut up.
Which I mean, they did the exact same thing last year. They had fucking Rich Bisaccia as their interim. That's his fucking
name. Thank you.
They had him as their interim. They did fucking phenomenal. Made the playoffs. Didn't rehire him, and then they fucking fire McDaniels or whatever the fuck his name is this year. He sucks ass. Antonio Pierce does good, and then they fucking hire him.
Yeah, they should have done that last year with
Bisaccia.
Yeah, I wanted to say Barcelos, but yes, thank you. But yeah, because the players genuinely cried when they didn't give him the job. I don't even think they interviewed him. But I'm like,
was it this year or was it the year prior? Because I feel
when your boss is a bowl cut freak, I mean, anything can happen.
I mean, let's see. No, it was the year before that because last year he was the special teams coordinator.
I was gonna say, yeah, Josh McDaniels was last year, right?
God, I forgot he lasted 2 years. God, he was a bum.
Oh shit, that's right.
God, time flies.
I know.
That's
Raiders and interim coaches. What goes better hand in hand?
Cardinals and losing.
Wow. All right, folks, we're done. Anything else you guys got on tap? What do you got going on the rest of the day? You guys watching the games?
I've got to write papers, man. I am behind.
You can still watch games.
Yeah, but I need to write papers first and foremost.
Maybe.
Not
maybe.
What
about you, Macaroni?
Nothing. Drinking beer. Watching football. Watching my bets go down the drain. Never bet, people. Never bet.
And if you do, please call the number.
And if you do, please bet against what Mac is doing.
Yes.
No, bet against what fucking Will does.
Okay, there's 2 things I love more than anything else in this universe. Being wrong and being a hater.
Will fucking loves to be a hater.
And that should speak levels as to how much I fucking love Kyler Murray, that I'm not a fucking hater of him. That kid is elite. I will say that. Kyler Murray, at his peak, is an elite quarterback, and I hope to God he fucking balls the fuck out next year, and so everybody can see that once again. He is the goddamn king.
Yeah, I'm a hater by nature too, so I agree with this sentiment. And like I've said on this podcast several times, I didn't even fucking want Kyler Murray, and here we are. I am his biggest defender.
I wanted that kid from the jump.
I did not.
You didn't. Yeah, and you were Trey McBride's biggest hater too, Jackie. So.
I was Trey McBride's biggest hater, and a part of me, get ready to boo, but a part of me still feels like he could have been there in a little bit of a later round.
Boo!
All right, y'all. My kid's screaming her head off, so unfortunately, I do have to end this one a little early.
Let's do it.
Let's wrap it
Fuck
up.
it.
My name is Will. You can find me on Twitter at LiveOnThatSwing.
I'm Jackie. You can find me on Twitter at JSanDiego. That is with 2 O's.
I'm Mac. You can find me at AZ Sports Fiend. That's FIEN.
This has been another spectacular episode of the Redbird Redzone. We are out.
Cheers.
Later.
Peace. Go Cards.